What's more exciting than seeing massive battalion-sized armies of tens of thousands of soldiers lined up in military formation?
Moses, brother, have you come to negotiate?
These top ancient massive battle movies are awe-inspiring, and Movie Spotlights have curated a list right here for you. Check these out now and try to see if you can spot the commanders of these legions. At 10, we see the legend of Hercules. The Greek hero Hercules, played by Kellen Lutz, bitterly betrayed and sold into slavery by his very own father for the forbidden love of Princess of Crete, who has been promised to his own brother. Banished and tortured, Hercules discovers his strength as the son of the god of Zeus to return to the kingdom of love.
When you cannot even save yourself.
Where is your strength now, half-god?
Hercules, you are the son of Zeus. Embrace your father, and you will discover powers that you never imagined.
At number 9, in the Exodus, kings and gods' chariots are used in battle.
Army behind! Ready yourselves!
As Moses, who is Christian Bale, fights alongside his brother Ramses, who is Joel Egerton, in the Battle of Kadesh, taking down the Hittites and saves him. Then, after their father's death, Ramses fears Moses will be king, so banishes him to the unforgiving desert, and discovers Moses is Hebrew. Moses demands the Hebrew will be released from slavery, but Ramses refuses. Moses rises up against the newly crowned Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II, demanding the Hebrew slaves are free, as Ramses too leads his forces into an ambush, totally caught unaware by a massive army.
We're going to recapture 400,000 slaves.
We're not recapturing anyone. I am a god.
I am a god!
I want Moses and his family dead.
I came to tell you something is coming that is far beyond you and I.
We have at number 8, with so many awesome battles to pick from in the Game of Thrones series. Now, this isn't on the silver screen, but definitely worth a mention as an ancient massive battle.
Flags. Stories. We're in the great game now.
One of the best is the Battle of Winterfell, which is a battle by night. We see flaming fireballs being projected into the air, dragons breathing lines of fire, and with Daenerys and Jon on Drogon flying over the battlefield, watching as many burn. The battle is the final showdown between the alliance of the living armies and the dead armies of the White Walkers in darkness at Winterfell. 300. As we see an awesome battle of arrow warfare before the king and Lord Cody's armies descend outside the palace, where Hercules finally proves he is a true demigod, showing inhumane strength, and pushes a massive statue of Hera from his foundations with his bare hands, crushing Lord Cody's soldiers. Ruthless King Hyperion, played by Mickey Rourke in the number 6 Immortals, marches his army all over Greece in search of the prize bow Epirus as an invincible weapon to become the master of the world and unleash the Titans.
King Hyperion and his legions seek to unleash the Titans and wage war upon this world.
I will end the reign of the gods.
Standing in his way is a mortal man chosen by Zeus. This is played by Henry Cavill, that is before he was Superman. The most awesome part is where Hyperion shoots with the Epirus bow, a fiery arrow crumbling the Mount Tartarus seemingly indestructible gate to the prison holding the Titans. Unleashing the Titans to a wage war against the world, as Theseus leads the Hellenic army to a war against the Hyperion forces. Theseus eventually kills Hyperion, as Zeus collapses Mount Tartarus on the Sea of Titans, wiping out Hyperion's men with a sea of dust. Up to see Crusaders invade en masse, we get that in this Kingdom of Heaven, in this epic historical movie exploring the clash between Crusaders and Muslims over the Holy Land, Jerusalem. Portrayed through the eyes of blacksmith Balian, who is Orlando Bloom as he turns into a Crusader. He's lost his family, but he finds he is the illegitimate son of Sir Godfrey, who makes Balian a knight. The spectacular battle scene where Muslim forces lead the attack against Christian-controlled Jerusalem kingdom, with giant balls of flames hurling against the city's defences. And Balian uses his diplomacy skills so people are able to escape. In our number 4 pick, we have one of the most epic battles where I would rate King Leonidas of Sparta, played by Jared Butler, with his 300 men and their infamous flanks holding off a rain of arrows, and the Persians led by Xerxes the Great were a massive army of over 300,000 men to battle it out in Greece against 300 Spartans. Against the impossible odds, death was inevitable. Now, I'm sure you are really asking, were there really only 300 Spartans? They were famous as being courageous men and well outnumbered. At number 3, in this awesome war, we witness a behemoth battle between the armies of the Greek and Troy. As the Trojan Prince Paris, played by Orlando Bloom, he lures Helen, Queen of Sparta, to run away from King Menelaus and sail away to Troy. The Greek forces stampede, led by Brian Cox as villainous King Agamemnon, to stop them, and shows how powerful love can be to start a great war, changing the destiny of thousands. And we see Brad Pitt as Achilles battle alongside the Spartans, only to be killed by Paris.
You know who you're fighting.
In probably the best opening scene for battles ever, in our penultimate pick, we see a massive battle between the Roman army and Germanic tribes in Gladiator. In this journey, we witness triumph on the battlefield to the fall of Maximus, starring Russell Crowe, powerful Roman general, loved by the aging Emperor Marcus Aurelius prior to his death, choosing Maximus to be successor heir over his very own son. Corrupt and unbalanced Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix, orders Maximus's execution, and his family is condemned to death. Mourning the loss and unable to save his family, Maximus is sent to a life of slavery, fighting to the death in the gladiator arena. In its tagline, father of murdered son, husband to murdered wife, I shall have my vengeance in this life or the next. Before we reveal the movie spotlights number 1 for the top ancient massive battle movies, we would love if you would subscribe to the Movie Spotlights channel now. At number 1, we have 300, The Rise of an Empire, where the sequel is actually better than the original 300, after Xerxes, played by Rodrigo Santoro's insane victory over King Leonidas 300, the Persian army marched towards the Greek cities in the Battle of Thermopylae against the naval commander Artemisia, played by Eva Green, using massive fleets of naval ships. Greek General Themistocles is Sullivan Stapleton, who is leading the charge in the suicide mission. Artemisia is a hardened ruler, and she has a deep-seated resentment for what the Greeks did to her family. Although Leonidas perished, 300 Spartans stayed to fight and die with him. As Thermostus urges Artemisia to surrender, she refuses and is stabbed in the stomach, collapsing in the Persian retreat from Greece. As the Greek and the Allied forces are victorious. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe now and check out the top 10 Greek mythology movies by clicking on the screen right now.